Stardate, May 15th, 2020. Captain's log. Trapped in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of Do What the Hell You Like land, on quarantine for 2 light years, it feels like. I am joined tonight by my Friday host, co-host, Devon Maraj. We're going to do a week in review. Good evening, Devon.
Evening, Philip and viewers.
And we have a special guest, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, who is an employee of a cruise line, who is clearly not Chinese. He's clearly not a millionaire. And that's why he can't get back into Trinidad and Tobago. Because he's stranded in his cabin, and he's going to tell us his story. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to all our viewers all around the world. Good evening, Mr. Sterling Howell.
Good evening, Mr. Philip. Good evening, Mr. Devont.
Evening.
Tell us your story, brother.
Well, what's going on? I'm a musician on board Princess Cruise Line, and since the COVID-19 has appeared, all cruise lines has begin a repatriation process in getting all crew members to their country, and this whole quarantine started from the 18th of March, where we have been isolated on cruise ships, been doing daily temperature checks twice a day, morning and evening, to make sure that there's no COVID-19 on board the vessels. There have been COVID-19 on board a couple vessels, but those vessels have been docked in certain ports, and the crew have been isolated from the world. Our ships is what you would call a green ship. That is why we are part of the repatriation in getting home. Now, what's going on? We left Fort Lauderdale a couple of weeks ago, and coming from Fort Lauderdale, we have dropped home crew members in different parts of the Caribbean, because what they have done, they have taken all the Caribbean and South American crew members and put them on this vessel that I am on, which is the Caribbean Princess. They have put all the Europeans on one vessel, all the Asians on one vessel, all the Indians on one vessel, and all the South Africans on one vessel. So everyone has a chance to get home. The problem is some of the governments are giving us a hard time. Currently, we have dropped off crew members at Santo Domingo. We have dropped off crew members at St. Louis. We have dropped off crew members in Grenada. We have dropped off crew members in Barbados. We have 2 more days in Barbados, and on the 18th of this month, we were scheduled to arrive in Trinidad and Tobago. What was missing was that our Minister of National Security needed to sign a legal document stating that they would accept their citizens. And unfortunately, that document hasn't been signed, and we are being denied entry. We are just a stone throw away from home. And right now, as we are not being accepted to come home, when we leave Barbados in the next 2 days, wherever this ship goes, we will be going with it. And we are not sure when we will reach home after this. I am pleading to the people of the country as well, because a lot of people, the media has made it sound as though cruise ships or cruise ship people is walking COVID-19 people. And that is far from the truth. There's no COVID-19 on this ship, and not all cruise ship has COVID-19. The media has stigmatized us and made us look like if we are the reason this virus came into place.
Sterling, you have no former PNM senators or anybody like that on the ship?
No.
Devon is stuck.
Yeah. Well, how much Trinidadians you have on the ship looking to come back home?
We have 6 crew members on board the ship. 5 members of the band and 1 solo steel drum player.
And have you all reached out to Minister Stuart Young personally?
I have sent email. Company, I believe the company has been trying to reach out to the government, and a couple of days ago we received a letter stating that from Minister Young stating that there's too many crew members to enter the country, and they can't take us all one time. My issue right now is that I understand they can't take 300 crew members in the country right now, but the government also has to understand there's other crew members from different countries that wants to get home as well, and they need to help in this humanitarian event that is taking place here right now in taking us home to help other crew members get home. There are crew members on Disney, there are crew members on Royal Caribbean, there's crew members on NC, and we have 6 crew members on board the Caribbean Princess, which is the least Caribbean, which is the least Trinidadians within all the cruise lines.
So your cruise line has 6,
Yes.
but in total, there are how many Trinidadians on ships right now trying to come home?
Well, based on the feedback we got, we heard that there's about 300 crew members out of the country.
All right. So, Devon, the issue here is, first of all, to get them the permission to come home and then to quarantine them for the 14 days mandatory. Yes? All the
Yeah, well,
facilities are
that is
empty.
no, I feel as the last of your worries, you know. Once you get the political directive to them to come home, then everything else is just a matter of formality. Only tonight, there was on the news where those people who were quarantined from Suriname were being released. So the release and where they be quarantine and so on is the least of the issues. I think the most critical issue is to get the minister to agree to using this ministerial discretion and waiver to allow these persons to come back home. Remember, the last other people who came back home from Barbados had to threaten that because they were Indians, that they were being denied the quality of treatment and so on, and there was a lot of to-in and fro-in with that particular group of persons.
There's a precedent now. We know how to handle the repatriation of people during the pandemic. We have all the facilities, everything empty. So, I mean, why would the government be playing a silly game with these people? What is it, because they are employees that they're not going to have a lawyer or somebody to stand up for them to write the government a letter to say, listen, you're denying these people their civil rights as citizens of the republic, constitutional rights as citizens of the republic, and you can't say that you're holding it off for anybody else because you've set a precedent before Suriname, Barbados, everybody. So why not these people?
I'd just like to say one thing also.
I would suggest here, you need to call Stuart Young or Keith Christopher Rowley or WhatsApp them and tell them you are trying to reach home and this is your situation. Yeah, you have their numbers?
No, we don't have any direct contact with these people other than emails.
I don't give you the number just now.
Devon is going to, no, Devon will make the call for you. Sterling was going to say something just now. Say it.
Yes, what I was going to say just now is the issue we are having here right now. People have the mindset that they're on the ship and they're eating, but the mental stress crew members are on right now being on a vessel, because after when this repatriation started, a lot of us are not essential workers on board the cruise ships. So a lot of us, our contracts had to be terminated based on the repatriation getting us home. So not all of us are working. So it's a mental stress for a lot of people. And so far, since this whole repatriation has started, there has been 4 crew members who have committed suicide on different vessels.
Wow.
And I don't think people are understanding how stressful crew members are being out here, and knowing that your country is denying you, people are scorning you, and you're being treated as though we are walking COVID patients when that is not the truth. You know,
So the ship you on,
people are just in.
the ship you
So
on
let's
have
take
no
down this
COVID.
telephone number. Take down this telephone
But
number. 681
you shouldn't give it to him live
681.
on the
Could
show.
you
You'll make it a
no? Could
mistake.
you give it to Philip? Give it to Philip. I'll let
Was
Philip
that Philip?
send it to him.
I just say
Was
don't
that
let
Philip?
them make it a mischief thing and
No.
punish more. You know what I mean? We're
I
trying to get
I give you the number publicly already. I will share your number. You want Rowley number? Right, we are do something similar because these fellas and them do understand this issue of compassion. You know, they have a kind of callousness about them. Um, certain people seem to enjoy certain privileges more than others. You know.
humanitarian crisis them, and we have to get a lawyer for these people. Nobody gonna take these fellas on. These people they're gonna treat them like low end of the pool. No, nobody gonna take them on, and they have no voice. This is a government that if you can't terrorize them with noise, they ain't taking you on. Look at what the people in Suriname and Barbados have to go through. So you all have gotten a response, Sterling, from the government so far.
Yesterday we got an email where it had Mr. Young's. Um, well, Mr. Young was addressing in the email that they will be denying all crew members from entering the country right now. My whole thing on this whole situation is that we are right around the corner in Barbados here right now. Our captain told us in that meeting, he said, guys, we are just 2 hours away from Trinidad. He said, but it's not my fault. Your country doesn't want you. And to sit down in a meeting and hear our captain talk about our government saying that they don't want us because our company is trying their best to get us home. And they're doing
So
everything in their power.
finish.
Yes, Mr. Philip. Yeah, the
So
company is doing everything in their power. And all we need is for our government to just say, okay, guys, we'll take them home. We understand that there's 300 crew members outside. I am not here asking the government to take in 300 crew members. There's 6 of us on board this vessel. And all I'm saying, we boil down to one person in Trinidad with the COVID virus who was in quarantine. They brought home 70 people the other day. Okay, 6 of us. There must be a facility where you could bring home the 6 of us. And instead of just having us here, not knowing anything, someone needs to be communicating with us and saying, guys, on so and so date, we will bring all the home. No one is communicating with us. Everyone is here stranded. And this problem is not
Where,
only
where,
with
where's the,
Trinidadians, but it have other people.
where's the vessel going to from Barbados?
After this vessel leaves Barbados, most likely this vessel is going to be heading to Mexico. When it heads to Mexico, there are Mexicans who have to get off. There are people from America on board the ship as well has to get off. This is not just about us. It's a process. It's a humanitarian process. And our country needs to understand that it's not just it's Trinidadians leave them there. It's a lot of people who wants to go home as well.
Emma Sakane, Sterling. So the Trinidadians could end up stuck on the boat, everybody else gone.
Yes.
How is it taking so long to do this process though? Because the COVID-19 thing going on since March, as you said. So why they didn't start dropping people off since then?
What happened? I believe what happened in the world. I believe everyone was hoping that things would have gotten better, and there has been little riffs with the CDC cruise ship companies. And what happened? The CDC didn't want any crew members um, flying through the United States, so the ships decided to put together this repatriation process in getting us home. And I commend all the cruise lines for what they have been doing, but it's up to our governments now to help now. One thing I want to say as well, when there's disasters in the Caribbean, in terms of hurricanes and these sort of stuff, cruise ships and cruise ship members are always the first to assist in these disasters. And now that we are in the middle of a crisis, we are just asking us to take us home. We are being treated as though we are the scum of the earth. That is the most feeling, and I believe that is why some people are jumping off and killing themselves. I believe maybe that is the next step that the government wants to see happen before they decide to bring us home. And I am hoping that that day don't come.
Okay, Sterling, I want to tell you this. We're going to continue our conversation. You and I are going to continue after this show here. You and I are going to continue this conversation and continue with Devon. They're going to bring other people. Devon has a lot of lawyers. I'm going to reach out to the lawyers that I have, and we're going to see if there's anybody willing to take up your case pro bono to write a letter to the government and threaten to sue them, because you have a right to come home. What is the deadline for your ship before the ship leaves Barbados?
Tuesday leaving.
The ship is in Barbados right now. We're not even docked in the port. We are just off the waters of Barbados. But we are supposed to leave Barbados on the 17th, and the 18th was supposed to be the scheduled date to reach to Trinidad. Seeing that our Minister of National Security has denied us entry, that means on the 18th they will have to pass Trinidad Strait and head to Mexico. And when they head to Mexico, we will be spending our next couple days or probably a couple of weeks in Mexico trying to get other crew members off. So that means we will be here for a very long time, and I don't even know after that when we would reach home.
This is a legal matter now. This is obviously a legal matter now. We're gonna see what we could do. You and I are gonna be in touch with you, and we're gonna try and see what we can do to help you off. I'm gonna bring even Robert Amar. Every time Robert Amar hear one of these stories, he wanna get involved. I'll call Robert and say, look, in case we need money for legal fees, we get people to chip in and thing, right? So it's not over. I brought you on the show tonight so that Trinidadians will hear your story, and for us to tell you, we will do everything in our power to get you off the ship. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Philip. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Roman.
Devon, do you have anything you want to say to Sterling before he goes?
I say don't give up hope. I mean, we have seen that the might of people power bringing the government to their senses. So I think in the next few days, let's see what we could do now between Philip and myself.
We don't want to Trinis jumping off no boat. We working with y'all. We will find a way to get you off the ship, okay? And
Can I say one thing before we leave?
You could say as much as you want.
I'm trying my best because I don't want anyone to feel like this is a political attack on the government. I am not trying to attack the government in no political way. I am just asking the government to open their hearts to all the crew members, because all of us belong to our home. All of us belong to our country, and we are Trinidadians, and I'm just asking them to open their hearts and bring us home. This is not about who is yellow. This is not about who is green. This is not about them colors right now. This is about being a Trinidadian. This is about being a citizen and being there for your citizens. I understand they got us to protect the country, but we are also citizens and we deserve to be protected.
Sterling, as heartwarming as that was, you're talking to a government who took $934 million and spent it on hotel expansions and VAT refunds before they gave hampers to the people who have been filling their children's stomachs with dumpling and flour pap. So don't think that what you just said changed the fact that it is very political. This government is a political misfire. And that is why you are on this show tonight, because you reached out to us and we responded right away. And it's going to require a political and a legal response to save your lives if people jumping off ships. And you need to also understand that. We will be in touch with you and we will agitate for you and we will do our best to get you off the ship in quick time. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
I'd say she could turn off. Yeah, right. Devon, every day is something new. Every day is something else. 300 and something people stuck on cruise ships. I mean, come on.
And you see, the unfortunate thing is, you're hearing him talking, you're hearing the pain in his voice, the frustration, and he's saying he don't want to make it look political. I know that they say that because they fear victimization, because a lot of people.
When you're stuck at sea, what are you going to do? Send drones to shoot you? What's the next step?
You and I know people always feel that they always think that the PNM victimizes citizens who speak out against them. And that is the real unfortunate thing, that we as a population live in fear of the government rather than the
But still,
government living in fear of the people.
but if Sterling knows that, and if that is the cold dagger to Sterling's heart, this here that he is going through should change his mind. And it should make him very political. It should make him want to make sure that never, ever, ever could there be a government in power that could turn its back on the citizens so callously.
Now, today Stuart Young reported to the parliament that he has about over 300 persons wanting to come back home on cruise ships and so on. And but clearly, they have an express unwillingness to entertain that. It seems that there's one stroke for one and a different stroke for others.
Now, every time I talk about Derek Chin, Roger Chin, and he want me to not put Derek Chin business in the road. But I can't not. I can't not because I don't care. I don't care. You know they say justice must be blind. I don't care who you are, what you have, where you're from, where your skin color is, or your hair texture. I think every citizen of the republic should be treated the exact same way. Derek Chin and this fella Sterling Howell and the rest of the people on the boats. Because
No,
you
but
can't pick up, you can't let Derek Chin pick up your little girlfriend and go Cascadia and we pick up the tab while them quarantining for 14 days and have these people killing themselves outside there, trapped in cabins. A cruise ship that is powered down is not a
no, but
fun place to be on, you know.
Derek Chin didn't do anything wrong, from what I gather. I mean, I know Derek like yourself, and I have been talking to him. He was virtually sequestered in a Miami hotel for over a month, and he
I'm
has
not
been
saying anything
no,
wrong,
no,
but I'm
no,
telling you,
no.
set
What
a
I'm saying is,
precedent.
no, but Derek has been lobbying to return home from the same people for over the month, and it took him, I think, close to 6 weeks to get a response from them. That is the issue. Is not people wanting to come back. The issue is how the government treats with the applications for people coming back. It appears to be lacking any kind of objective criteria or benchmark, and the whims and fancy and discretion of the minister to allow somebody to come back is too arbitrary, it's too capricious, it's too vague. And that is what we should have a
Orders of
problem.
favoritism. When Stuart Young lets Derek Chin in and puts him up at Gillette's Cascadia Hotel, it looking like a Chinese mafia. Come on, we're telling me
No, I do agree with you
how
there.
things appear. I know you can't go there with me, but I'm telling you how it appears. It appears. Derek Chin
No,
have to have the same. This is how it looks.
no, I mean,
How we end up.
why they choose Cascadia is a different story as opposed to Brooklyn and Sandy Grande. They could have sent Derek Chin there. They could have
Why
sent him
Derek
in
not in the
Didi.
racquetball center? We spent $100 million fixing up the racquetball center. Why not there?
Yeah, because the people from where was Suriname or Barbados had gone there. So I mean, they select. But you see, when you have these press briefings and the
I
reporters,
not I not like I will lose friends every single day of this walk. I don't have a single problem with Derek. His brother, I don't have his children, his family, his wife, everybody cool and nice. But I'm telling you, I don't want to live in a country where if you have money or if you have connections, you have a better life than the rest of the citizens are not going to stand for that. And I don't care who it is.
you- we don't have no information that Derek asks for any special consideration.
We
And
do. We
even
have that information. Roger Chin gave me that information the last time a private jet landed here. There was mad speculation that it was Derek Chin. Roger gave me a lot of information, and I understand. But I'm saying it is a simple allowance, and
no,
it is
but
a simple thing.
even if Derek asks for some kind of consideration, Derek wouldn't give himself that. Derek didn't make the arrangements for he to go.
Exactly. I am not saying no. I am not saying you're wrong about that. And the problem lies with Stuart Young. But I'm saying to you,
Exactly.
look how it looks. You didn't send Derek Chen DB. You didn't send him Racquetball Center. You didn't send him to the Roach Motel in Sangre Grande. You didn't send him Cora. You put him up in the Cascadia Hotel and costing $600 a night.
What is disturbing? Remember, they renewed the Sandy Grande facility contract, even though it is empty. So you're paying for a facility costing you what it was $105,000 a month that is empty, but you're renting a place in Cascadia for $600 a night for 2 weeks, right? So that begs the question. I mean, what was in the mind of Stuart Young? But who holds him
The
accountable?
government cannot exercise arbitrary criteria. If a court cannot see that on the face of it, then the whole country is a mess. This is a dictatorship. You commit, you state, that have to stop. That is why the days of the PNM glorifying themselves at the public's expense has to come to an end. The days of the PNM uncovering all the Peters to pay for the handful of Pauls that is vote for them, that'll come to an end.
I think that's wishful thinking, you know. You know how I feel on it. The PNM have a monolithic block of people who ain't moving, who not
Still does
moving.
not the population. Redmen and Douglas, we in the lead now, you know. It's just to get us organized. Half breeds, quarter breeds, half Abids, we in the lead. To get us
So,
organized.
why didn't they part in local election? All of them, those that
The day
coalition.
will come. Come, do the weekend review. What's the first story we touched on? We started late.
I feel we have to start with this Sally and Victor Mute Foundation, Philip. This is a very charitable foundation. They went out of the way on last week Saturday. They used their influence in society and business to open up Subway and KFC and pack fresh chicken in hampers bag for thousands of workers throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And I think it is coincidental that on Monday KFC opened, right? So I
I,
mean,
I too saw the coincidence because I mean Christian Mute obviously has a very good heart and he decided that KFC workers are hungry. But you let 6 weeks pass. What was eating in the 6 weeks before you jump out yourself with these hampers?
no, but tell me something. You ever hear about the Sally and Victor Mute Foundation before?
No, but from you.
No, but I
But I
feel we had to keep
but you move in 1% circles, obviously, so I hear from you.
we have to keep we have to keep that foundation at the top of our mind because the next time there's a disaster, humanitarian assistance is required. Hurricane season coming up, you know. We will have flooding and so on in Greenville and so on. And I want to see the Sally and Victor Mute Foundation on the ground with Phil and Serval and the rest of
No, but no,
organizations.
they only care about their employees, friend. They ain't jump out themselves for one single customer, you know. They didn't say we opening back. And to all our loyal customers that moved us from BMW to Rolls Royce, where every one piece of chicken you buy, you get a piece of chicken free just to get you through the coronavirus. Nothing, nothing. They ain't
But
give them
nobody doing that.
nothing.
Nobody doing that. Not Royal Castle ain't doing that either. Burger King. No, I wouldn't ask them to do that. It's business they're running. They had to buy the chicken and
You
sell.
just tell me you looking for them the next time Greenville flood. If they ain't thinking about their customers, I don't know if they have a Ish Galbarancing Foundation for Royal Castle. I don't know. How you
Yeah, we had a
know?
call. We had a college.
College,
College.
give me, you have everybody number. Give me Ish number. Call him now live. Like
I,
I tell
I
you.
was running it, you know. College and ask him if we have a Galbarancing Foundation. Right?
Can they abuse his access? And
No,
I'm waiting to
remember,
see your partner, your riding partner, Vasan Bharat, defend jumping on that slow train to hell, you know. I'm waiting to see your riding partner defend what the gang of 23 did for this country.
I send you the number, call him. You want Mute number two? You want Mute number two?
Use
I'm Mute.
6411.
I'm Mute. I go send you Mute. Call Mute and ask him about Sally.
And really
Sally.
send me issue. Listen, but the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. You
You
spell
get it?
Mute wrong. Eh? You spell
Yeah,
Mute wrong.
I didn't christen him, eh?
You was very good.
I I have custom these 1% names. I could spell Philip
They
Anthony.
have, but you have them in your phone book, and I don't have them. So
I,
pump your
I have
brakes there.
I have everybody on it on my
I
phone book.
say, I say you 6411. No, but seriously though. So this group of people, the Gang of 23 that Vasant joined, when do they give the report and the
Yeah,
recommendations? Or was
they gave the
that was done
report
already?
already. No, but if you realize what Rowley said last week, Saturday, when he spoke, right? He said, no, came onto this committee, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and there was a big brouhaha that, he's an Imakaram, he shouldn't have go, and then there are a lot of people say, well, he's the brightest thing in Trinidad, so he had to go, whatever. But by Thursday, Friday, Rowley is reporting to us that he has a report.
Wait. I can't let you get away with that. I tell you why. Because it's Keith Rowley that hung the moniker Dog Rice Man on Vasant Bharat.
Yeah.
It's Keith
I
Rowley
believe,
do that.
yeah, but
So no,
that's
Vasant
politics.
have to.
That's politics.
I also is self-respect to it. You
No, but
have
then
some kind of.
Pandey called Ralph, Ramesh, and Romeo. They mash up the government, throw it away. And one term after, Ramesh was the chief whip for Pandey again, all over again. Love like dove in the house, right? So I mean, let me don't go into who call what. Politics is politics. It is what it is, right? It's not unique to Trinidad. It happens all over the world. But coming back to the main point. So Vasant was appointed Tuesday or so. But by Thursday, Friday, Dr. Rowley is telling us that he got a report already. He got a report and he have to read it. So my thing is, what Vasant really do in the 48 hours other than cause a distraction for Rowley? I mean, I know Vasant. Vasant has a tremendous contribution to make to Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of what political administration is. I have a lot of
As a technocrat, but his politics is silly. His
so
politics silly.
I have to wonder if it is that Rowley outfox Vasant and use him to really drive a wedge in an already divided opposition who want to see Vasant in, those who don't want to see Vasant in, and they use.
No. Rowley playing a game that he passing and picking up all the Michaelas and the Vasants. I hearing all them rumors, right? JW, you going to jump in that with JW? Come on, it is a circus. The same talk he sent for earlier, look at what falling on him. His next band partner, going to be a circus, popcorn politics.
No, but JW, let me tell you, don't underestimate JW. JW, this is a man who win road march and thing, understand what I'm saying? He on radio every day. His fingers are on the pulse of the youth culture, the urban culture, the east-west corridor culture. You put him in a marginal east-west corridor urban seat against a man who is put on a Rasta wig and come on a Rash G. Tell people that they're fat and so on, that Chinese eating dog. Understand what I'm saying? Rowley and them is not to be underestimated. When you look at,
But the politics
at the,
that they talk about Ian Allen, who have more finger on the pulse. Ian Allen is get more views in one show than JW is getting a month. And they talk about Ian Allen, it's a circus. I'm not getting in that, I'm no dog in that fight, and as they say, not my circus, not my monkeys. They can do what they want in the PNM, I don't care. Vasant, Michaela, all of them can go and run for PNM. I don't care. But at some point, you have to defend your own self-respect and integrity. At some
well,
point, you have to make sure.
PNM announced 8 candidates. They declared 8 candidates, and I think we were all shocked and amazed, Philip, that I'm sure you got a message on your phone as well as I, that Maxi Coffee has decided he's not running anymore. I mean, that is a shocker. I
It
mean,
is to me, kind of meet
because because
so,
we, we
and
get we get ripped off as we get ripped off as a population. We spend so much a million on his health and so on. I want I want he dead for the next 10 years. Let him work it
you know,
out.
you know, mood.
Yeah,
It's like the person who write and say, Camille, how did
yeah.
Charon go in? We invest in that. We supposed to have updates, regular updates. We pay for the fertility treatments. You
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
that we
no,
should how they doing?
no,
How they doing
they
in
get,
we-
they get scholarship on thing. I'm on top of that. They get scholarship on thing. I'm disappointed
Don't
that
send me don't
I'm
send me
disappointed she not wearing wigs and thing. It looked like her passion for wigs has declined. But so yeah, so that's the other thing during the course of the week was I think Dr. Rowley's statement about this report that they got 2 days after Vasant was appointed to the committee. So, and from what I gathered from members of the committee who talking to me, is that they were very impressed with Vasant's contribution. He was initially asked to contribute on agriculture, and he amazed them and blew their mind in terms of trade and finance. That those other committees co-opted him already. So he's on about 3 or 4 committees, and if you hear them talk, as Vasant is the prime minister of those committees. I mean, I don't know. You're not hearing much about Winston Dukaran or Wendell Motley or the other players there. And I mean, it'll be interesting to hear what
on that,
feel.
Motley on that
Yeah,
topic.
yeah, it's a Motley.
Realizing, Harry,
Yeah, it's a,
Anthony
me,
Maraj and Anthony Maraj sent to say she's still wearing wigs. Your information is incorrect.
well, perhaps I don't monitor as much as Anthony Perez. But
Anthony,
what
thanks for the
what what we have with this Motley crew is a sort of old wine that they want to put in new bottles to come up with new solutions in a post-COVID world, a roadmap for recovery. And somebody actually told me today that what they really will be doing is providing the PNM with a manifesto to go into the election, because there's a strong feeling now that despite what Prime Minister Rowley said, that December is a good time for election for Trinidad, that the election will be held in either late August or early September,
but
because
JW on
they,
the ground. I
yeah,
call the commissioner today to say, what is the rule regarding walking about? Because JW walking around in Sawa, so if it's legal for PNM, how legal for us? And he said, as long as it is less than 5 people walk about. So we mobilize the entire ground force to the PEP and we starting tomorrow. But
very good.
JW on the ground, good.
And so if JW by chance have this coronavirus, by the time he walks on Barataria, he infect the whole constituency gets sick afterwards, right? So you see how the PNM, they're telling everybody stay home, but they're sending JW to walk about. You
See,
must stay home, right? You can't leave your
you're
house to
bright.
go. You can't leave your house to go somewhere because Gary people go send you back. Tell you turn around and go back home, right? But JW and his 4 people, horsemen of the apocalypse who with him, so 5 of them could walk about. It don't make sense. It don't make sense.
It really subject to questioning, that some of these rules that they are so flexible. I mean, you can't get COVID-19 in KFC and you can't get COVID-19 in Massey. You can't get it in Super Farm, but you'll get it on the beach. Don't go to the beach. And at football, you can't play football. They were very clear. No
You can
football.
play golf.
What?
You can play golf.
No, but today, on the brand spanking new police grounds, they was playing football.
You see,
Teams.
that's Gary business. I say no to that.
I don't know if that is Gary business. I
Go play
don't know.
football. But
But
at
it was
Gary
on the
Field.
police. It on it's Gary. Well, I don't know if it's Gary I had to go to, and after what they're doing with Buju and thing, I don't know if that's a setup. So I don't want to put it in the public space. But I'm saying to you, it seems like the laws, they not make out of metal, they make out of a kind of plasticine. And if you know how to bend it, you can bend it.
Well, I was at the receiving end of that this week too, in the courts with where we were told that I mean Rhoda Barrett seemed to have some kind of special consideration by the court. I mean, when I sat through that hearing last week Friday, I told my lawyer, I said, listen, I see how the judges question, and I do think we're going to be victorious on this. You get the vibes, you get the feeling that the deck's stacked against you, you know. And it looks like, that he tell me, listen, we are to be prepared. We're going for the Privy Council for this thing. That's the only way to get justice in Trinidad and Tobago. We are to pray
So,
that the Privy Council is not removed, because
boss,
only,
I tell you
only this
that
week,
if you put
only
on your pants and your pants reach by your knee and you hear that Trinidad opt out of the Privy Council, leave your pants behind and get out of Trinidad. The only thing keeping us from full-blown banana republic is those law lords.
exactly. And if you watch this, only this week, there was a judgment given at the Privy Council that upheld Justice Carol Gubin, judgment regarding NP gas station license holders, which were denied the right to operate by NP. It was presided over in the Court of Appeal by none other than the Chief Justice himself. So you have the Privy Council overturning our Chief Justice here, right? And how many cases have we lost at the Privy Council because of poor judgments in Trinidad? And when you look at some of the people they're picking for judicial appointments, you realize most recently a couple of them were witnesses in favor of the Chief Justice. They get appointed to position. The judiciary appears to be an old boys club. As Volney had said many years ago, if you belong to a lodge or you could sing a hymn, you're inside.
Yeah, but
You're
then
inside.
but I had to tell you, you wasn't in the cabinet in the last government. All you gotta fix all of this. All
Now,
that special man,
the judiciary had a different thing going.
the
I tell
parliament
let me,
regulates the
let me
parliament
tell you.
regulates everything. The parliament
Let me,
regulates the constitution. And the judiciary and the courts is a creature of the constitution. The parliament have the say. Why
let me tell
those
you.
things were
Those things. Well, I mean, the ministries and the ministers responsible for that had different priorities. We couldn't just you can't interfere with somebody else's ministry. And additionally, for our administration, the bureaucracy was against you. The bureaucracy was against you. For example,
again. You had a special majority. You control the parliament. Just now, I want to tell you something. The parliament is a wrecking ball. Nobody realized that yet. I realized because the parliament writes the constitution. Every single thing that is a creature of the constitution answers to the parliament. You had a special majority. The way the
those
parliament is run. What's
and you
that?
see, this is where the naivety that you have don't know about the operational realities. For example, if you want to get something done in the parliament, how are you getting it done? How you effecting it?
If you are the government,
Yeah.
how are you affecting it?
So tell me how you effect it. So will you, Philip, pick up your phone, walk across to the parliament, tell the clerk at the house, well, this is what we need to do. You will write up your own notes. You will write
We
up your
live
own business.
we live in the age of information, and if it come down to that, it come down to that. All joke and fun aside, we talking a little kicks tonight, but all joke and fun aside, don't let people feel, with all that brain you have, that if we had the opportunity, we couldn't fix everything. Because I will not
No, no.
accept that. It is not a hopeless
I
situation. Please,
I don't think, I don't think we could have fixed everything, but I think those who had particular ministerial portfolios had those issues that you're talking about wasn't at the forefront as issues to be addressed at that point in time. You see, right now, it is something that we want to address. But at that point in time in history, the issue of the judiciary being overturned at the Privy Council and so on wasn't as frequent, if at all, 8, 10 years ago. So that imperative wasn't there.
but the truth of the matter is, if you have a government, and every guest that I've had on this show for the past 10 days, people with serious experience, they all come down to one answer. It's political will.
No
What the
political
and
will,
you just said
political will,
you just
political will is definitely one of them. Like I'll tell you, for example, when I assumed the Ministry of Agriculture, I as I come in there hot and sweaty, I say, listen, um, I want to move this ministry, and we're moving it in a rural area, a rural key spot, a crossroad, close to all the farmers and things. One of my colleagues told me, hey, what are you talking about? Listen, you had to be in FNGP on Monday. You had to go to Senate on Tuesday. You have cabinet on Thursday. You have parliament on Friday that most likely you had to be prepared to assist or whatever. So the only day you have really kind of flexi would be a Wednesday. And given the fact that you're on subcommittees at cabinet, subcommittees at parliament, it's not practical to have the ministry located out there. And these were senior people who would have served in administration before, advising you that this decentralization concept that people have is a decentralization not of the physical ministry, but not necessarily of that, but of the services, because so much of your time as the minister is demanded in the Port of Spain area, serving on various committees and so on, that it's not practical
That
for that
is,
to happen. And that's just an
but that is,
example.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. And we could talk all these things, and I'm not knocking you, but I'm saying that we could talk all these things ad nauseum. But the fact of the matter is, and you just said it, until somebody wants to fix it, all we'll see is the problems. We won't see the solutions.
No, but you see, you would only see a problem when it arises in front of your eye. You wouldn't anticipate a problem necessarily. I mean, look at the parliamentary agenda this week alone, Philip. This parliament under COVID, they had a session to deal with bull baiting. You know what bull baiting is? That you tie up a bull and dog is come and bite it. That was the important thing this week, that
Gambling,
Faris Alwari legislative agenda so as critical and important in this time of COVID to deal with
Tint.
bull baiting. Yeah.
Tint. That's the top story in the news. Tint.
Yeah.
Faris fixing tint. And the
But
Gaming Act, when they have businesses on their knees begging the government, listen, we have no COVID-19 in this country and all of us know how to social distance. What you're doing is unfair. You're giving KFC an unnatural head start to the rest of the business community.
no, but
It's unfair.
I had a discussion yesterday with somebody, and they tell me if you look at the regulations are the exempted and essential services is designed for Massy and Samakal, Prestige, and these top conglomerates to continue to operate to a large extent, while the small business owner, the small family operations are forced to close. The regulation seems so designed. But
Reginald McLean,
who
Reginald
is talking?
McLean is a private contractor. And Reginald McLean is a decent, law-abiding, church-going family man. Reginald McLean, pure as a driven snow, cuss every cuss word you could have think of on Facebook. After that meeting, he came back and he edited it and he apologized because that's not who he is. But he's asking a question. He said he is a private contractor. You open the public construction sector and leave the private contractors to wait 2 weeks, you say. So all his workers who looking for a way to put food on the children's table going to leave and go and work and see where they can get the next hustle. And his business, he asking, what is the difference between a private construction site and a public construction site? What is the difference? How could you so arbitrarily? How could you so arbitrarily? The law is so silly. Then when I stood up outside, there's a wall separating two Creole restaurants opposite LSD Plaza in Maribel. A wall.
Yeah, no.
One calls itself a bakery. 98% of the entire infrastructure of the place is to sell Creole food, to compete with Creole Kitchen that they're 30 years. And 2% of it, people just bring bread and sell it there on a table. Now I ask everybody, if you're not baking in the store. You're not a bakery. And if that is true, then every Linda's was to shut down because no Linda's bakes in their store. But then you bend the law to let Linda's open so that they could sell, and then they could sell anything they want. I went to Long Circular Mall, I did a video in Long Circular Mall, and I said, you could bring you could bring everything that you sell, you could bring your toys and your books, bring it down, sell it in Linda's, sell it in the gas station. This is a mad law.
But that, if you look at, remember when they took the decision to close hardwares to only 2 days a week or 3 days a week, from 8 to 12
Yeah.
or something, you and I the very evening, you and I the very evening said that would lead to chaos. That would lead to more people congregating in hardwares in those few days and create more potential for community spread. We had that discussion. It took this government with this team of bright people with them, all these CMOs and CFOs and COOs that they rely on scientific data 3 days afterwards, 4 days afterwards, to say they make a mistake, that more people congregate in it. I mean, I want to know if the CMO and his medical team is not compromised by political bullying.
Are they
Because
competent?
sometimes, no, I can't speak to their competence, but you know, as a
You have
public
to use
officer,
their track record, but you have to use their track record and their adjudication, their judgment. You're getting to witness their competence.
well, I mean,
If you
if
can
you
make a
look at,
stupid rule, if they're going to tell you that the more hardwares that open is the more hardware going to sell, it is such a ridiculous concept to hold in your head.
well, you don't know if the CMO making that decision or if the politician telling the CEO to approve it. You understand? Because there's this,
Devon,
this
refuse to accept that you are defending. I refuse to accept that you are defending people compromising their integrity, their professional integrity for politics. The CMO
I have,
don't know how to say,
I have,
the CMO don't know how to say, brother, that compromises my ethics and my professional integrity. I know one thing. If you know something else, find somebody else for this job.
I have seen it, Philip. I have seen it. Only this week, I sent you the affidavit to Charlene Stewart from the Ministry of Communication and Candice Alcantara from the Ministry of Health, where they put in affidavit evidence that they were instructed by the Minister of Communications to add in Rhoda Barrett onto the press conference. Didn't you read that? Paragraph 9 of Charlene Stewart. It's not that they went and picked she out. You know, they sent out invitation to TV6 and Guardian and Express, and Donna Cox pick up the phone and say, listen, I know this person had Sheen. And they did not object. They didn't say that she meet a criteria or anything like that. They only come in the affidavit now and say they know me as a media person, but they know Praya Bihari. Yeah, they know Astronaut News, right? You are telling me people in Trinidad and Tobago know Astronaut News over me? I mean,
What the hell is astronaut news?
they have 250 people following them on Facebook, Philip.
But
Astronaut
what do
News.
they cover? The movement of the stars and the planets? What is
No, no,
astronaut news?
Astronaut News is an acronym. I checked it out. It's an acronym for air and health, and is a kind of astronaut health newspaper. That is it there. The person based in Sandy Grande, way.
Didn't read where they named it, what it sounded like.
Yeah. What happened is I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at it, but
When
they
they
have a,
posted on Facebook, when they posted the screenshot on Facebook, I say now, all they overdoing this photoshopping, or they're trying to make the government look like fools. They said this is a real media house.
well, here it is.
Astronaut.
What astronaut is air, sunlight, temperance, rest, exercise, nutrition, the use of water, and trust in God. That is the acronym astronaut. Understand what I'm telling you?
Where do they
206.
broadcast?
They broadcast out of they don't broadcast. They put up Facebook posts out of Sandy Grande.
So how do their Facebook posts qualify as journalism and yours doesn't?
Boy, you hear this now. That is what Honorable Justice couldn't see. No, but
Okay,
the
so
point I made,
it's going to the Court of Appeal, right?
yes. We filed today. We filed today.
Well, all right. Well, then
No, but
let's not
coming back
stick
to
let's
the
stick up in and not influence. Let's not influence the process. Stick up in because I want to see what happens next.
No, but what I'm talking about here is look at it, that these two public officers, I think they're contract officers, so which makes them even more vulnerable to political bullying. That they have their own criteria, which they set up, and I have no doubt it's measurable and objective, where they invite traditional media, but yet still, they could invite Astronaut News and Rhoda Barrett, who are traditionally only asked they are asked in the first question and second question, and they bowl very easy balls for the Minister of Health to answer. It's like, how you feeling? And what do you do, Minister, to keep your health going? To keep, and he just talk, like give you some kind of dotish laugh, and he's meditate and all kind
I
of
watch
sureness.
just they catch me when they say that this was an urgent press conference with the Prime Minister, and I went and he do we a wickedness. He talked for 5 minutes and he say he have something important to say, but then he make me sit through the Alsing and Parasham with their justifications and rationalizations that making no sense.
No, but that cut and paste from CNN. They see Dr. Fauci, and we have Dr. Parashram. They have Trump. We have Dr. Rowley, and we try and have the Muppet version of what's going on the White House lawn. There's copy. Dr. Fauci have a little chart and map and so on with community spread. We have a little pie chart that they get up.
You can't let the week in review end without reviewing the Venezuelan invasion. Now, I want to start from the top. I want to start from the top, where we have Keith Rowley and Stuart Young publicly stating that they didn't know what plane was coming, who was coming, who they was meeting with. So when we got information that they lied, Stuart Young said he had to do an investigation, and he found that the letter was in fact true. Now, the letter from the permanent secretary says he has instructions from the Minister of National Security. Stuart said he had to investigate to see if the letter was true, and he agrees it is true. So it seems he did not recollect that he gave the permanent secretary the instructions with all of the information that they received from the Venezuelan delegation that they were coming. That lie to the public is sufficient grounds in any first world developed country or any country that thinks it has any kind of self-respect to fire that minister, because it's embarrassed the entire government and the entire country. But that's not where it ends. But I would like your take on that.
I think the government has been caught with its pants down and the breeze blowing cold. I mean, this week alone, with that revelation of that letter, which you and I shared almost simultaneously, indicated one, that the previous assertion that they didn't know the plane details, it was just a plane, was lie, because that is clearly indicated in the letter by the permanent secretary to Gandhi Andrews. The names of the person which they say they didn't know and what they're about was also proven to be a lie, because every person coming on that manifest was documented there. So, and we are all
Including their passport number.
the passport number, but we were told by no less a person than the Prime Minister that he just met Delcy Rodriguez and some other person. So you are bringing down, here what they would have us believe, you are bringing down top Venezuelan energy officials to Trinidad. They land here with special permission, and you meet with Delcy and Chavez alone, and the four other fellas sit down wait in a room. So what they come here for? A plane, right? That's what they're telling you.
They went
They
for a
come
drive.
right. They come for
They went
right.
for a
But not
drive.
only that, Stuart in his, as you know, when you make a lie and you cover any lie, you lie more. He says to us that Delcy was sick 2 weeks before, and
And
they have to
asked to
wait.
come on March 27th. Yeah.
and ask them. So in the height of a COVID crisis, you meeting a woman who's sick and you ain't quarantining she, and you ain't meeting her with no mask and glove and hazmat suit and thing, but you're hugging she up and you're taking gift. And I mean, they really take the population for fools. And when you see some of the comments supporting the PNM by supporters, you realize that this is a kind of, we're in a tribal war.
No. When you say that they're taking the population for fools, when you see the PNM cult member response, they're not overestimating, you know. Is the rest of the country that not taking PNM basket? Is the rest of the country that not prepared to listen to Stuart Young openly lie to the public and find some distraction or deflection to try and defend him?
No, but it goes deeper than that. Now, when we ask about it, the Prime Minister say people who are asking about the meeting want to get involved in Hasikara. Remember Hasikara? And if they come for COVID. So we ask them, well, if they come for COVID, where was the CMO? Where was the Minister of Health? Why wasn't it there? Today in the Parliament, they say no, they come for COVID national security measures because Venezuela have 30 million people, and if they come across here because of a COVID panic, we will be in problems. Understand how gullible and dotish they think the Trinidadians are, that we are to believe that Stuart Young was there alone because the commissioner of police wasn't invited, the chief of defense staff was invited. You know, none of the security heads of our
Trained
areas.
security professionals. That's
We
the
have
word that's the phrase you're looking for. None of the trained security professionals were invited.
we have a 2x4 lawyer with a 2x4 geologist having security talks with a vice president charged on drug charges out of Spain by the United
And
with a oil petroleum top executive Chavez to talk about national security issues, and we as a population have to swallow that. Where I am not seeing the outrage, I'm not seeing the outcry, and
because
the,
it is hamper politics. If you raise your voice against the government, when you go to get your hamper, they're gonna say, "But I see you on Facebook talking about Stuarty." So you have to be careful. This is hamper politics now. If you
the
keep them,
Sally and
if you
the
keep them,
Foundation farmers, the
not
Sally
they're
and
not there. This is the Colm Imbert $934 million hamper that Colm put out in the public space. Did you read what made up the COVID relief total?
yeah, no, but you notice that the health
That's
component is
accounting,
one of the strong
Devon, that is
part in it.
accounting fraud. That is called accounting fraud. How is VAT refunds? How did VAT refunds work its way into COVID-19? That is accounting fraud.
Now you see, they would have never been under normal conditions been able to raid the Heritage and Stabilization Fund for purposes of VAT refund. But under the cover of the COVID, they went to the parliament in between the bull baiting and the copyright stuff to pull
Tint,
the rug. Yeah, tint,
tint.
right? That if you're like Indian, you will look lighter or darker than an African. That's how the police, that's how Rohan Sananan will come and fool us with dotishness of it, right? But in between that, they raid the Heritage and Stabilization Fund and having put their grubby hands on the money, using it now for VAT, which the people entitled to. They are entitled to the VAT refund, and now they are being
Where
told,
was where in their accounting did the receipt of the VAT get accounted for? Because have they misplaced it? Like they misplaced the road maintenance tax that comes out of the gasoline by the gallon? Have they misplaced the VAT money? That they have to raid the Heritage and Stabilization Fund to use it for VAT refunds and call that business assistance?
that money is used, that VAT money is used. They use that for other things. They're planning for election
But
in September.
this is accounting fraud. You took millions of dollars and you gave it to Tobago hotels as COVID-19 relief. How is that COVID-19 relief? How?
But this is a government that in one breath telling you face mask free, and we're getting it free and field delivering it. And in the accounting, we're spending what 10 million for face masks, right?
By
And then when you ask them both about it, that's a different set of face masks, right? I mean, 7 people get what rent relief Camille announced or something like that today, right? And that was announced a month ago, a month ago. But according to their rationale, everybody in Trinidad want to thief them. So they asked for the impossible, because I was speaking to a landlord only yesterday, and they said, listen, we will provide the deed for the tenant. We will provide everything else. But if I give the tenant this deed, where they're going to copy it? Because all the copiers done, closed down. So you're putting up things that sound good, that they copy and paste from the states and so on. We have first world ambition, but third world application. That is the problem.
$100 million for the credit unions. What is that?
Nothing. They're supposed to provide soft loans for them to provide for small businesses. And look at the press release from the Chamber of Commerce this week, where they said the government abdicated their role to the business community and ignored their recommendations that the Chamber of Commerce made. Here's the people who hands in the mud with business, making sure that small business go on. They have a chamber. They're telling you, listen, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to continue. You can't find it in your heart to say, listen, we could work about 3 of them. You have Wendell Motley, Winston Dukaran, Vasan Bharat. Together, they make up about 3,000 years of experience. And some of them looking like that. And you can't use Gabriel Faria and his team recommendation. Why isn't Gabriel Faria and those guys inside of there? You have people who are disconnected from the real business operations. You have glorified academics and technocrats going to have a roadmap.
Devant, this is the first weekend review that we've done, and we're gonna do this as a regular thing. But people are going to start to think that we are a comedy troupe just by talking the facts of what is going on with this government. Because you can't make this up. There are things we
Yeah,
ain't touch on the hour pass. You can't make this up.
no, we can't make this up. We can't make this up at all. I hear Colin Mimbo today at a press conference 3 o'clock saying the gaming workers don't have a trade union and they're not making enough money. But the trade union went outside the house to protest. And Imbo tells the media that they were forced.
And he,
They, they were forced. And the 2 media people who asked him questions, because nobody asked questions, didn't put his foot to the fire as to ask him how he knew that they were forced. How we know that they don't have a trade union when they have been writing as trade union?
watch the Guardian get buff. You realize that? You watch the Guardian get buffed by the Prime Minister for calling him a liar because he get catch lying. You want them to get called a liar, to get buffed twice in a week for calling out a next minister for lying? And my job and
I,
yours.
I don't know.
And my job and
I
yours.
mean, this we could make a third world country comedy with this, you know.
Boss man, the hour passed a while back. I had to thank you tonight, the debut of the weekend review. It was enjoyable to be a part of this because every show is a lot of stress, eh? But I mean, this is stress too, but at least I get to laugh a little bit. Bro, give me your closing comments. Take as much time as you need.
I think we have to be very wary that this COVID crisis is not continued to be used as a cover by the present administration to raid the treasury, circumvent our rights, and to abuse the parliament. We have not seen the administration finding it in their discretion to come to the parliament to debate the expenditure of COVID, the plans for COVID, and what they have done so far. We have not heard that. The issue of the Brooklyn in Sandy Grande facility, step down facility, which was the source of our investigation, which has now found its way to the Attorney General office. And we don't know how it was selected, how they arrived at the figure of $100 and something thousand. And I mean, it is amazing that this building is still rented by the state, but they choose to put persons returning to Trinidad in Cascadia Hotel at $600 a night. It is baffling. It is baffling. And the Venezuelan soap opera, the Telemundo saga that's happening, telenovela, right? Complete with Spanish
Yeah.
subtitles is
This,
unfolding
this
before us.
one, this one gonna
This
be
is a
interesting to follow. Yeah.
this is Telemundo Trinidad style
Yeah, I'm
and
laughing out
starring
loud.
Kid Rowley. We have subtitles by Delcy Rodriguez. I mean, the cast of characters there with Hugo Chavez cousin. I mean, we can't make up this.
Yeah.
This scenario here, this play is the theater of the absurd, and we
It
have the
is.
absurd actors,
It
and
is.
it is,
It is.
what is even more scary is when you look at
Mm.
those supporters who see nothing wrong with this. They are not asking I am not saying leave your party, but your party have to be accountable. You have to hold them accountable. If you can't criticize your party, who else will?
Carrot and a stick, boss. Carrot and a stick. Want your hamper, hush your mouth and toe the line. Carrot and a stick. Hamper is the new URP.
Yeah. So next week.
For sure. Thank you, my brother. It was enjoyable. And that
All right, good.
Trinidad and Tobago was former Minister Devon Maraj joining me for the first weekend review. He had us in stitches. It was a hilarious, hilarious first attempt at a weekend review. Telemundo is a novella. He come good. He come good. Every Friday. Every Friday we're gonna be wrapping up the week. We started the show off with something very, very serious. We have Trinidadians trapped on boats, on cruise ships, and the government is refusing to pay attention to them. I see Roger Chin responded to me. I want Roger to hear me say this. Roger Chin, I want to live in a world where I could respect every single person of this country and know that every creed and race and person finds an equal place in front of every office of state. That if your brother Derek Chin could get himself back to Trinidad and Tobago, whatever it is they have to do to bend their own law, bend the law for the people on the cruise ships too. And you're supposed to be joining me in that, brother. You're supposed to be joining me in that. Okay? Right is right, wrong is wrong. You can't change. They're not things that open for rationalization. Okay? Can't say because this girl was sick, so your brother went and pick her up and bring her. Forget the story that your brother get through and others can't. That have to stop. And the country that we want shouldn't discriminate. And this is discrimination. This week coming here, we have some guests that will put plain talk over the top. People are calling and making themselves available for the discussion now all over the world. People want to be part of this frank accounting to the people of Trinidad and Tobago because they're getting positive responses all the way around. We found out that ministries, government ministries, are coming to the posts that we share and putting government information for public people to read because there is a larger following on my wall than the actual ministries that they're paying for. They gotta cut a check and send it. What do we say? We gotta charge them for the service. The reality of our situation is Trinidad and Tobago, we are trapped by a ruthless and incompetent band of comic clowns that are deadly in search of their own profiteering. The lies that have been told. I did a video today and it went ridiculously viral. And the name of the video is Lie After Lie After Lie. Go and look for it and tell me if I lie. This week coming here, Plain Talk will be must see TV. Set your alarm. The show starts at 8 o'clock. Set your alarm for 7:30. So you can make your tea, go and pee, Do everything that you need to do to settle down and take in the best exchange with the brightest minds that can help us shine a light on our Trinidad and Tobago all of us never knew we always needed. It is time to get us to a place where all of us could find that magical equal place that the national anthem talk about. So, this is the weekend. Don't spend it all in one place. Enjoy yourselves, party, have a good time inside your house. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.